And three. Let's give it to her.
Hello.
Hello, is this Erin?
It is.
Hi, Erin. This is Paul, Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. We have Tommy in the studio.
Hey, what's going on, Erin? How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
I'm okay. I could have, followed up on my New Year's resolution, which was to work less with this guy next to me, but didn't happen.
He's just upset because he didn't. He was supposed to be on a diet, but he
I
lasted
failed the first day.
in of an hour.
I didn't even last that long.
It was a thought that counts.
You and me both. It's okay.
They're like, oh, New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight. Hey, we got tamales over here. Heading your way.
Yes.
Give me some of that. Well, welcome to the show. The idea behind the radio show and podcast is to spread happiness to the world through the joys of fishing. And we feel like the fish photos and the story they do just that. And so thank you very much for sending in your photos. And it looks like you are a kayak angler, so we love to hear kayak stories. And we want to hear where you caught the fish, the bait you were using, and the size. And it looks like you actually have a way to measure it. You got that one on the boat, or on the kayak.
Absolutely.
So
yes, absolutely.
This is your podcast. Take it away, Erin.
Oh wow. Well, let's see here. I live in Utah, and I do kayak fishing here in Utah with Kayak Fishing Utah is my club.
Nice.
And
cool.
through the club, the owner of Kayak Fishing Idaho actually came down and fished one of our tournaments, and we met, and we are now dating. So he has invited me up to, he has invited me up to some of their tournaments up north, and I went up there. The river system is Black, I believe it's called Black Canyon, and it feeds into the Snake River. Mm-hmm. The Snake River is an amazing fishery. It actually holds, majority of it is smallmouth. Okay. But that is obviously not what's in the picture that I sent you.
Yeah.
So when we fish tournaments together, we typically like to fish somewhat close together, at least for the majority of it. I like to beat him, so sometimes I'll go off on my own. Uh-huh. But this particular tournament, I did not get a chance to pre-fish. So he said, follow me. I know this little pond that's off the river system, and it's supposed to hold huge largemouth. I'm not kidding you. I have a pedal drive kayak, by the way, and so you use your feet instead of paddle. Yeah. And we pedaled for almost 2 freaking hours up the river. The river was so low, we were in like 2 inches of water at some point. Had to get out and actually physically move the kayak. It was October. I think it was like 32 degrees out. It was freezing.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, Erin. I would have given up at the thought of it.
Yeah, Tommy doesn't last very long. Like, when we go fishing, we have to find the spot that we're going to fish. Like, it needs to be there in front of you. Yeah. Because that's where...
I'm not hiking there.
He's not going to walk. He's not going to go on the boat. I mean, if it's a motorized boat...
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's about as far as we're going to go.
If I have to do any physical activity, I'm going to opt out of it. I'm gonna see if there's an option B.
Yeah.
So, okay. Sorry about that, Erin. I just had to stake my claim on that one.
Well, I was there too when she said that she had to paddle for 2 hours. I thought, I
already gave up.
We'll never fish there together. Like, I'll probably go there and fish, but Tommy will be wherever we park.
Dude, I was with her until she said, "Oh, we paddled for like 2 hours." I was like, "Oh." Or pick me up on your way back.
Well, Jeremy kept my hopes up. He kept saying, "We're almost there. We're almost there."
Oh, see, he was on it. He's like, yeah, just a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just around the corner.
Yeah.
We can always tow. I could tow you.
Yeah, you could tow.
I could just we'll attach you to my kayak.
Look like a giant buoy in the back. Okay, go ahead, Erin.
Right.
Let's
Sorry.
get back to
Had the
Erin's
water
story.
been higher, it wouldn't have been so bad.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, if the water would have been higher, it would have been nearly as bad. It was just the fact that sometimes my kayak isn't even moving. with my weight on top of it. So I had to get out and literally push it. But
oh man.
So we finally get back there, and the tournament, I think, had 12 anglers in it, and at least 6 of us are back there. This was a well-known spot. And so we're just messing around. One guy next to me catches a 19-inch largemouth, and he's super stoked. That's his personal best, and he's hooting and hollering. I'm not catching anything. I think I'm using a drop shot minnow at this point, and I decided to change it up. Something I've never done. I work with Maniac Custom Lures, and they are the only soft baits that I typically use. And so I put on one of their salt sticks on a wacky rig with a drop shot, actually. And I threw it in there, and I'm just kind of jigging it, and I just feel a thud. I'm like, oh, I'm on a log or a rock or stepped on something. And I pull, and it has a little give, and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Yeah. And I start reeling it up, and like, there's no movement to this thing. I'm thinking I'm going to reel up the stick. I'm thinking maybe I have a catfish, maybe it's a carp. Like,
just dead weight.
There's no fight to it. Yeah. I mean, and I'm reeling, and I look in the water, and there's this huge light-colored thing coming out. I'm like, are there striping in this? Because it's so big. I was just really confused. So I finally get it up. I net it. My hook pops out of its mouth.
Oh.
I don't know how I got it up without it actually being hooked. And I think the first thing that came out of my mouth was "Holy F-bomb."
I've dropped many of those.
I'm screaming to Jeremy to come help me. What's that?
I like that you censored yourself, Erin. That is beautiful, because I often have to go back and listen to the podcast and then edit it out. And so you did it for me, so I'm so thankful. I love that you just said F-bomb, and because I don't really have to do anything to it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I have sort of a sailor's mouth, so I got to be careful.
So you know what? Let's be completely honest. We're anglers. Yeah, we all do. We all do.
Yeah.
Hence
absolutely.
The editing.
I curse at fish. I curse at people.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Wow, Erin, it's like we are besties. I do the same thing everywhere I go, almost.
Oh, it's too funny.
9 times out of 10, it's the editing. It's editing that. Somebody saying.
Yeah.
You know what? It happens. That's the way I look at it. So, but yeah, okay. So you netted the fish. You were trying to scream for him to help you, and you basically got a fish that has my kind of qualities, where it just kind of got hooked and gave up. So that
definitely.
he was
this
just kind of
had 0 fight to her.
Yeah, he just got hooked, and he was like, well, I might as well.
I'm already here.
He's like, here I go again.
This is my day. Might as well go this way. Might as well see who's on the other end of this thing.
Once in motion.
Yeah. Once in motion, I'll just keep going that way. All right, go ahead, Erin. Sorry.
Does anybody else want to sing Just Keep Swimming? Did that pump?
That was just you. I'm sorry. That was just you on that one.
I thought about it.
Oh, see, she was with you. Okay, fair enough. All right, continue, Erin. You netted the fish, and yeah.
Yeah. So in our tournaments, we use we call it CPR. It's catch, photo, release. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure we safely release every fish that we catch. You know, fish will grow bigger, and you can catch them again next year, right?
Yeah.
So I'm asking Jeremy's help for that, because this fish is so big. I want to make sure I don't lose her. And not to mention, I needed proof that I caught this thing. I needed somebody else to see this.
Yeah.
So I get her on my hog trough, which is the measuring board that we use, and she was 22 inches. I left my scale in my truck, of course. So my best guess, the first thing that came to my head is she's 7 pounds. I don't want to be one of those anglers who's like, oh, I just caught a 15-pounder, you know.
Yeah.
You got to put the fish really close to the camera to make it look huge. But,
so you're not doing the Paul trick, okay?
Oh, I was gonna say, I love that.
Paul does that a lot.
Absolutely, what makes it a fish story.
Paul's the only guy I know that's caught like a 20-pound bluegill. So I mean,
well, I call sturgeons sharks, and so I tell people
you just changed the species of fish.
Totally.
I caught a shark out in Utah. What?
You could put a 1 pounder or like even smaller next to like a little figurine, and it looks like a giant fish.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
It's part of the fun. So
master photography.
Exactly.
We welcome all fish stories, and so those make me happy. But let's get back to her story because we got excited because you recognized that was my
that's
story.
That's exactly
going
what
that
you
way.
do. Yeah.
Because I get to tell fish stories often to different people, and they're just like, "Well, tell us some of the stories you've heard." And so my version of your fish story, Erin, is going to be I caught a 15-pound fish.
And Paul's one of those guys that when you talk to him and he's like, "Oh, I caught this big, huge bluegill or big, huge bass," and you're like, "No, you didn't." And he's like, "Oh, well, I knew a guy that caught this big blue bass or this big, huge bass," and you're like, "No, you don't."
I knew a guy.
Yeah, and you're like, "No, you don't." And he's like, "Can you imagine what it's like to pay?" It just keeps changing.
And I'm a terrible liar. Like I have ear-to-ear smiles when I'm telling the story.
I know.
Like it's just like it's not, but it's still part of like you still have to hear the story.
You're already laughing and giggling like a. You're just giggling already. You're like, "I got this huge shark," and I'm like, "No, just stop." Okay, sorry, Erin.
It was a bluegill. Calm down.
It was a bluegill that you caught, and it was tiny. So there you go. So anyway, all right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, really, there's not much to it after that.
Okay.
It measured at 22 inches. Right after I got my picture, she flopped, and she broke my hog trough.
Oh, man.
So I ended up having to buy a new measuring device after that.
Oh, darn, you had to go you had to go shopping.
What's that?
I said, oh, darn, you had to buy more fishing stuff, right?
I know. Oh, jeez.
How dare that happen?
I actually ended up getting a catch for it. I don't know if you've ever seen those. These things they're made like.
So not only did you have to go get not only
5 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say not only did you go get something, you were trying to get something a little up. You were trying to upgrade it.
It was an upgrade. Sounds like an upgrade.
It was definitely an upgrade.
See, there you go.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Not heartbroken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bittersweet.
We love the fish story.
Absolutely.
And that's how you know it's a good one. And when Tommy and I go in there and we start repeating the story and tell it to, we bring you back to where we left off.
Well, yeah,
so
exactly. We were in it. Yeah, totally. And you know what
excellent.
what
and
I love?
Me and my 15-pound largemouth.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. and you know what? What I love is when we can actually joke around in the story and come right back to it and everything. Yes. I mean, it's just awesome.
Sure.
I love it. I love it.
When I tell it again, that fish catch took her on a sleigh ride, and she had to follow that thing around the Snake River.
Yeah.
She finally got it up.
I'm going to leave out the part though that she had to pedal for 2 hours because that just makes me tired thinking about it.
That was horrible.
Yeah, because then you got to pedal back. That's just
Well, we went downriver that time, so it wasn't nearly as bad.
Okay, all right. Well, then there you go. So you just go with the current.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my
Definitely.
whole theory. Well, you know what?
Well, hopefully I'll have a better one for you in the future. We don't have the fish like they do on your guys'. Well, I don't know where you guys are located, but
we're in
fishing,
Huntington Beach, California.
We're in Southern California.
Oh, okay.
So we have
I fished
areas.
the Delta last year. That was awesome.
There you go. See, we have areas like Castaic Lake and different areas like that where we usually go, for big bass and stuff like that. So, but
I think we're hitting Berryessa in February.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think we're hitting up Berryessa in February.
There you go.
Okay.
See, and anytime that you take photos and you send them to the group site or to us in general, we'll set up everything and get you back on the show. And
yeah, please come back on the show
and even tell your man to join us.
Yeah,
okay.
He's welcome to come on the show, or if you wanted to promote
anybody
your
on
fishing
your group. Yeah.
You're welcome to
excellent.
do that. You could tell people where to find your group. We have listeners all over the nation, and so if you want to...
All over the nation, and, well, we're worldwide, technically. So we've even got people out in Europe that listen to you. So you may have an Irish person later on going, well, she's been out there catching fish. You know, I mean, it's awesome. I love it.
I like the voice, Tommy. That was great.
That was my best that I had this early in the morning.
That was a good accent. I'm proud.
But yeah, no, I mean, definitely share it with your group. Share your group with us, and you know, we just keep spreading the joys, spreading the happiness.
The joys of fishing. That's what we're about. Please come back on the show. Continue to send us photos.
Absolutely.
We have an Outsider Fishing blog if you want to, if you're a writer as well, or just want to see your blog shared with the Outsider following. You're welcome to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
From all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box, fish more.
Tight lines, Erin. Have a great Saturday, okay?
Tight lines, gentlemen. I love what you're doing.
Oh, we love having you. You take care, okay?
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was a good call.